Welcome viewers back to Heart of the Machine, where we are trying to decrypt data from the Hume Titan, which is this giant mech that dropped from space after our base was nuked by Vorcibur. Some might say things are looking grim, but we're still alive. We still have a chance. We're rebuilding with new technology. Right now, that involves going to this contemplation called Alumina again. Our current intelligence class is only 1. We have made it all the way up to 4 in previous timeline. But that nuke really set us back. We're going to have to do this contemplation, which should give us a way to make computronium cubes. Once we've done that, we're going to build disguised mainframes and code breakers. We can start making these code breakers now, but it will not work until we have the computronium cubes, but it might make sense to get them built nonetheless. So that we don't have to wait for them in the future. Unfortunately, we can't build the mainframe at all because it needs computronium in its construction. So we're waiting for that. That means we really don't have anything left to do except for advance to turn 85. We'll keep our eye on the giant mech while we do that. There's always a chance it does something interesting. It's still very, very dark because we are in a cloud of nuclear fallout blocking the sun. Let's go straight to next turn, turn 85. Maybe a little better view over this guy's shoulder. This down here is our combat unit red. Big mech, what are you going to do? Wow. Just kind of slides along the ground, leaving absolute destruction in his wake. And we can now start this new contemplation. Before we do that, let's take a look at the TPS report, the ledger issue, talk a bit about what might be coming. We also have structures with complaints. Hidden water filter is complaining that it has no storage. No water storage. Where do you need to put? I think we just don't have any place to put anything. So that's probably just telling us that we're at cap. No, there's like literally, we should have plenty. So it's just not letting us store that stuff. On the ledger we have deficit of compute time. Not quite sure what's using it at the moment, probably something. And we are running low on microbuilders, although we have 453 turns of them left. I guess we're just building a little too fast. TPS reports. It's the hidden water filter and the remote unit controllers. Okay, so remote unit controllers do need computation time. We might want to turn those off. Remote unit controllers. These are for bulk unit capacity. These things. If we deactivate these, we shouldn't be trying to consume compute time with them. So that should quiet down that part of the TPS report. There's only 2 of those. The other problem is a ledger issue. Right, that's no big deal. The TPS reports, though, remote unit control hidden water filter. Right, so what's going on with the water filter? Output efficiency 0. What does that mean? Groundwater. We are making 34,000 per turn. And hidden water filter wants to use 7,200 of that, but I guess we have no place to put the filtered water. Well, they have 100 units. What does that mean? Is there anything we can build right now that might give us... No. So this increases our groundwater cap. Hidden water filter increases our water filter cap to 409,000. I guess I don't understand it. Maybe it's that heavy metal that we have no place to put? Can't we just drop it on the ground? Why do we need it? Anyway, I suspect that's a problem we're going to have to solve in the future because I don't see any way to solve it. If you watched the last episode, you saw me struggling trying to find a filter. So there was a few changes to the analysis filters here over the past release. One thing was that they weren't really showing rings, but now it's showing rings. So that must have just been a bug on that last load. If we look at repair coverage, we have two spiders giving us repair coverage. We might want to spread those out in the future. Our units are showing up also there now. Jammer coverage, you saw. Paused structures. We now have 2 paused structures, the remote unit controllers. That's a nice new filter. We also have deterrence coverage. Somehow we have deterrence. I guess the Nickelbot is a deterrent, although not very much. Although orange seems to say that it's blue are getting some, but not needing it. Red need but don't have enough, and gold need and have enough. So I'm not sure what color this is. Gold, they need deterrence and they have enough, although it doesn't say they need deterrence, so that filter's a little confusing. Protection coverage. Protection is what your shell company operatives give you, so we don't need any of that yet. Security clearance. This is the new filter I was looking for, so this is awesome. New filter shows you the models for the entire city and color codes their security clearance. So no more excuses for blindly jumping in to do missions in a high security level area and getting immediately obliterated. We can always look at that. I also have distance from machines, which is a new one. Visualization of how far away humans think things are from your structures. Hidden structures are not counted. So I don't really understand what this filter is for, but I think it's basically showing us like where they think our buildings are. So maybe if our jammer coverage isn't sufficient, which it's kind of lacking, maybe if we improve our jammers, we can improve that. Jammer coverage almost covers everything, although these pink buildings just aren't quite in it. So we're going to have to think about whether we need to improve that. The jammer coverage is actually this small pink ring. Highlights any structures that are revealed or on their way to being revealed. Shows the combined ranges of your contraband jammers. So these all have hidden value of 0, which makes me feel like our jammer isn't really doing much. I'm gonna take a look at that next turn and see if that's improving at all, but it's making me a little nervous that everything's saying they aren't hidden. Our code breakers here are hidden 80% despite not being on a jammer, so something's definitely interfering with our hiddenness that we're going to have to take a look at. Okay, that's enough faffing. Let's find that mech and watch him as we progress to turn. No, it's not time to progress. We're doing the contemplation. That's what we're doing. Let's move on to this contemplation here. Alumina again with the Harbinger B634. Once again, you find yourself needing alumina to make computronium cubes. The airspace is eerily quiet these days, and you don't have access to aircraft of your own, or Sledge. You wish remembered how to make those things, but that knowledge was in part of your mind that was lost when Vorsaber took out all your structures at once. You have a bit more brain damage than you prefer to admit. You'll have to figure out a new way to get alumina using the units on hand. Quietly this time. You're feeling better despite the brain damage. You even have an idea for a scaled-down version of your old computronium factory. We're going to make quiet computronium refineries, and we now have quietly loot silent scrappers. Quietly scavenge rare materials from a building. The building is damaged in the process, but the process is slow enough that no one notices. Neat. So we can now scrap in shadows. Shows the resources you can gather from a building. Move to buildings you want to loot. The process will occupy this unit for 6 turns. No danger level, but you'll only get 25%. Alright, so quiet computonium refineries. 2 of these. We definitely want to make these immediately. These are currently our most important task. Where? I can't tell where the giant mech is from us here. Far enough away that we shouldn't really be concerned, so I guess we're going to make these as close as we can. We'll make 2. We're going to have to get 221,000 computronium. So that means we should really be spending our energies bringing these up as soon as possible. That's all of our Nickelbot moves. We do have enough capacity to consider increasing our unit count here. Nickelbots are our engineers, so I think we're going to send another one into the fray. This is Nickelbot 67FF, and he's going to help with structural engineering. Never thought Nickelbots would be so handy. Alright, both of those computronium refineries are coming up. They're making 50,000 a turn. It's going to be 2.5 turns before we can, so 3 turns before we have enough computronium to start making mainframes. Let's consider making more computronium refineries in the short term. These use assembler robotics. They're the only thing we know of that uses assembler robotics. We have plenty of power. They do use a lot of electricity. The current expense is Alumina. No, the production chain expense is Alumina. Okay. So we do want to build a couple more of these, but it sounds like we're going to have to scavenge Alumina to get their production bootstrapped because we don't have any. We can actually make quite a few of these. They're going to be using a lot of Alumina per turn though, so maybe that's not a good idea. Let's actually hold off on building those. We'll build 2 extra. It's gonna take a few turns to get those up and running anyway. 3 turns, in fact. We're also waiting for the code breakers to come up. And we have 2 more mental energy. Are there any more? No more contemplations. In fact, we can't do any contemplations right now. We have to do some quiet looting. Scavenging sites. Right, so this is probably what we should be using our Shadow Dweller for. Shadow Dweller can move here for 1 mental energy and do some quiet looting. Probably want to look for sites that are as rich as possible. Let's see if there's any variance. Yeah, so there is a low. 1500 to 1900 is low, 3200 to 4800 is high. Can also scavenge neodymium this way. Well, don't see anything going higher than the 3200. So we'll start there. Closest one is here, I think. It's going to take 6 turns. And we can't do it. Why can't I do it? Do we have to be a specific unit type? It doesn't say. Danger type, heavy, sec force, response, commercial tower. Let's read this again. Quietly loot. If the quietly loot ability was not assigned into the ability bar of your Exitor or Carver. Okay, that explains things. So I wasted a bunch of mental energy being confused about that. We need an Exeter. These guys can silently loot, so we'll bring one out and start looting next turn. I think all of our suggested buildings are built. Let's take a look at the mech and see if it does anything crazy this turn. we're not that close. Let's turn off the icons. Get rid of our selections. See if this guy's gonna do anything interesting this turn. The Hume Titan. Here goes. Turn 86. He fires his missiles, angering the OERL Integrated Corporation this time. We should be okay. They're not anywhere near us. Nothing to worry about. Let's see how our Exeter is going to handle looting Alumina. We're gonna head down here to this scavenging site. Before we do that, let's take a look, make sure we're not going to send him into something scary. Yeah, no security to worry about here. So scavenging site here, it seems fine. Exeter 39FF. And we need to use the quietly loot button, right? Quietly loot. And looks like you can't do it on a building you're already standing on. We'll do there. 6 turns. Do we want to bring in another Exeter? I think we do. I think it's taken enough turns that we should have a couple of these, and we have room for a few of them. So I don't see why not. We'll drop them here. And Exeter 165X, you're going to go and scavenge Alumina quietly here. Okay, we have 2 Nickelbots. You guys can help. I have no idea. It says a quarter, so what does that mean? 800 to 800 to 1200 is what we should actually expect to get there. These take 50 a turn, so one of those being successful will be enough to keep us running for a while. There's really no point in getting these buildings online faster, because without the Alumina they're not going to produce anything for us, which is probably what the ledger is telling us now. Yeah, we need a few more. Right now we're ticking away at 100 per turn. If we get 800 minimum there, that means 2 more of these will be another 100 turns, so that'll be like 4 turns between things before we need to loot, and having 2 of these guys doing that I think will be sufficient, but we'll need to keep an eye on things and see if we can make more computronium. We'll have to be continuously looting, which is just going to waste a couple of our force slots. Could throw another one in there, but I don't think we need another Exeter yet. Let's actually go and turn on... No, there's actually no reason to spend points on speeding up the building process right now. We could make more Exeter and try to loot more things. What about street sense tasks? I'm not sure there's that much interesting to do. I don't see anything super unique, so I think we're gonna ignore those for now. There's no explorations, there's no investigations, there's no swarms, no contemplations, not really a lot we can do. Maybe it does make sense to make more Exeters and do this more rapidly. Let's do that. I don't really see a downside. We can always destroy them later. Yeah, okay, the downside is not enough neuroweave, which, yeah, that's a thing. We'll just ignore that for now. I guess since we can, we will just start constructing these. And see where that takes us. Back at the mech land, there are a lot of things getting blown up in this direction. Let's switch to turn 87. Actually saw that guy get destroyed. That was OERL integrated. Mech's not moving around, he's not shooting very much, so not quite as scary as he first appeared. Over in this land, we have 5 turns left. Nothing really going to happen until we finish those 5 turns, I guess. We should be lining up Exeters so that we can have like a continuous stream of that. Like if we had 6 Exeters all offset by a turn working on looting. That'd be a thing, right? Looting, scavenging. Could loot neodymium as well, but I think we have plenty. Let's take a look at our resources. Neodymium, we have about 12,000, so that will last us a while. Alumina, we're up to 300. I think that's enough to start Computronium cubes this turn. We'll see. It's interesting, is it coming in piecemeal a little bit at a time? That's not how I expected it to happen. Let's do some more. I want to do this one, but you're in the way, so let's move you off of there. Maybe bring you back closer to home. And we'll have Exeter 5-FF do another Alumina loot here. Ooh, it's now down to 800 to 1200. That's not what I want to see. Maybe it's telling me the real value now. Weird. Weird that it was showing the full value before. Okay. Let's start you there. 6 turns. TPS reports saying the same thing. I don't quite understand the hidden water filter issue. Let's see if we can figure that out. Hidden water filter says, make sure you have heavy metal storage or this will stop working pretty quickly. Well, there we go. The game is mocking me. None of these appear to have any sort of storage capability. So I think we're gonna have to figure out what to do with our heavy metals next. Could make more contraband jammers. We know that our contraband circle is right there for now. There are building code breakers back here. Let's get more things in the circle. Maybe right about there. Gets everything down here in. You have to build it in this mode. Right there. Could put one up here as well, but I don't think it's worth it yet. I think what I do want to consider is moving one of these repair spiders, since there's 2 right next to each other here. That was kind of a bad plan, wasn't it? Let's destroy this one and move it. Get some of these buildings that aren't covered. Guess we have to keep it in the network. So we'll just put it down here for now. Otherwise, we're just waiting for disguised mainframe. We don't have any Computronium yet, but we do have 314 Alumina. Computronium, these things are going to be using 200 a turn, so next turn we should be speeding out 200,000, and then it will be 1 turn after that where we'll get the rest. I guess we could make 2 more of these technically and have enough Computronium that they all run. And I think we have the mental energy to do that, so Computronium refineries. Let's make 2 more. And let's get Nickelbots to help bring those up. Using Nickelbots as engineers just feels wrong. Okay, that's the end of the turn. Mech is over here looking nasty. can put versatile lens back on to hide the icons. We're gonna do an over-the-shoulder shot this time as we advance to turn 88. It's powerful enough that he takes out OERL integrated mechs in one shot. We're done. Do just the codebreaker giving us a message. We have 4 more turns till our Alumina stops coming through, but I imagine, yes, that we now have enough computronium to make disguised mainframes. These things are taking computing hosts, so I think we can make 4 of these. Nothing else currently using computing hosts. Disguised mainframes will let us turn on our codebreaker sooner. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any buildings. There we go. Just looking from the wrong angle. Okay, this is going to be our water area. Let's put the mainframes over here. I can only do 1 a turn because we need so much computronium. Okay, so I think we're actually getting enough computronium. 187 net this turn, so we might be more than 1 turn before we can do that. I don't think we can build any more of that hidden quiet computronium. Oh, we can. Let's build 2 more if we can. Just so we can get those computers up and running faster. There we go. That should be enough. We'll bring the disguised mainframe up next turn. 5 turns remaining otherwise. So I did assume that we'd have to wait the entire 5 turns before the Alumina came in. It's really nice that it's trickling in at a decent clip. 3 mental energy left this turn. You know what? We really have nothing else to do. Harbinger can go and hack things or horrify things, but can't even talk. Interesting. What is this icon showing us? I don't know. Hagenian Acres. Not really sure what that is indicating. I don't know. I think we're just going to waste the 3 mental energy here. Maybe we could bring up another Nickelbot. No, we don't have the capacity for that, unfortunately. Unless we destroy the Harbinger. I think we're going to save at least 1 of each type for now. Because we don't know what's going to be necessary. We'll go watch this guy for 1 more turn as we advance to turn 89. Finished some quiet looting. Project completed. We didn't actually finish the quiet looting, but I guess we had enough Alumina that it didn't care. And look at that, we are over our electricity budget. Okay, I think that probably means we want to shut down some of these computronium refineries. Yeah, it looks like that was counterproductive, unfortunately. Luckily we can just deactivate them. I guess we're gonna have to deactivate all of the ones we went over on. Damn, okay. I suppose alternatively we could deactivate the water. Oh, that's what that symbol is meaning. That's showing us that there's a problem with this building. Okay, there's a new symbol that shows that. Yeah, let's deactivate the well and cistern and deactivate. I guess we leave the well and cistern on. It doesn't use electricity. But the how we get more hidden water filter we're turning off because that saves us 2,400 for 3% of our electricity budget. Codebreakers are online. They should be spinning up we don't have any compute time yet. Never mind, they're not coming up. Next turn, this will come up. This will use significant power, I imagine. And we want to make more of those. So yeah, we're going to turn off, make sure all the excess Computronium cube makers are turned off. We can actually turn off these robotic motivator factories because we have plenty of robotic motivators. We're not even using these things. Neuroweave we want to keep on, although probably have way more than we need right now. The game is also suggesting we turn those back on. It's kind of mad. We have room for more electrical parasites, but we'd have to start sending them out into no man's land. If we do that, I'd rather also build hidden network relays. So I guess we'll do that. Let's put a network relay down in this corner here. And then we'll expand our electrical parasites in that direction. Ah, no network, we can't do them here. Okay, so we do need network to be built. Hidden networks are going to take a very tiny bit of electricity, so we should be building these. Network attendant robotics are only used. Oh, they're also used by point to points. Okay, we don't need to use point to points. The difference is these cost 4 times the electricity. They don't extend your range as much, or maybe they do. That doesn't really say. Yeah. Oh, they extend your range more. They extend your range twice as much, cost 4 times as much, and cost a lot more to make. So I still don't really see the points of those. Maybe they can only be built outside of your territory also. Yeah, it's very strange. I wish that dropping these showed me how much it was going to extend the range. It doesn't seem to do that, which is a little sad. We'll drop one in every corner though, for now. Just to try to push our range further. Yeah, it doesn't look like it basically looks like it makes a plus sign around the network range extender. It's hard to say for sure. We should be expanding the range as much as we can though, just to get room to build more of the electricity parasites. We'll put one right here in the middle. That seems to be reasonable. Nothing else is suggested right now, which is odd. Thought it would be suggesting stuff. Let's turn on the filter that shows power or paused structures. Paused structures, we do have quite a few paused structures right now. Remote unit controllers, robotic motivators, a bunch of Computronium refineries that we just built. The well. What else could we turn off to save power? The drone factories here. Yep, don't need those right now. Neuroweave. How are we doing on Neuroweave? Yeah, let's accumulate a bit more of that before we turn it off. Microbuilders. How are we doing on microbuilders? We definitely need to accumulate more microbuilders. Send a bot over here to fix the disguised mainframe. And we'll send another one. And... whoa. What was that? I'm guessing that turned on a contemplation? No, it didn't. Nothing. Something happened. Not sure what. We are going to build another one of those, though. This guy's mainframe. We can't. We're still waiting for Computronium. Okay. 5 more moves this turn, but I think we're just going to skip them because there's not really anything else we can do right now with our power so low. I guess I'm wrong. We can use help extending our networks here. And we have one more move to do that, so there we go. So we immediately extend the network by fixing those, derp, and then can build the tiny electric parasites now because we have the network range. Nice. I think we can actually maybe build a few more of those. No, we are out of robotics. Okay. Cultivator robotics. Competing with the water system there. Interesting. Okay, 3 more moves. I think everything that we can build has been built. So now we are definitely going to just skip. Ooh, that's what that noise was. Intelligence class 2, you have grown. Excellent. Well, that allows us to switch between timelines. Great. We're not going to do that right now. we're doing great in this timeline, but if it gets miserable here, we can escape. That's good to know. Turn 90. Let's see what happens here. Boy, this weather. What are you going to do this time, big boy? Yep. A Class 2 intelligence is small but exponential jump above the smartest humans to ever live. New ideas and ways of looking at the world abound. Turn 90 starts with the last of OERL integrated, I believe, getting destroyed. We're looking at 2 more turns of scavenging Alumina. And we're beginning to decrypt data. We do have plenty of... Do we have everything we need in terms of... Huh. Compute time. No, we need more compute time for our existing code breakers. Code breakers currently want 37,000 per turn. We have a net 2. So I don't think we're quite making enough with this one disguised mainframe. Yeah, so we need another one of these. I do think we have enough. No, we still don't have enough computronium. We made about 100,000 last turn. Computronium. 100,000 last turn. We could turn on another one of those computronium buildings to make that happen faster now. So yeah, it turns out building all of these not really that helpful if you're going to run out of power. So let's bring up enough that we don't run out of power. And then we will turn them offline as we need. Okay, with all of our computronium up and running, we are still under our power cap, which is good. Drone factories, we could bring these online too. Ooh. What are we using drone frames for? Why are we actually out of... So turning those off disables their storage also? Is that what's going on there? Input output for drone frames had more than cap. Yeah, okay, so making those buildings dormant actually cancels their cap. Didn't realize that. Oh, these don't use any power. Okay, what else is turned off? Let's go look at that carefully, make sure I didn't turn off anything that doesn't really use significant power. Okay, these guys do, but we have the power. And these things, robotic motivators, yeah, I bet we Yep, we threw them all away because we turned these off. Let's make sure we're not doing that. Ouch, 4,000 power for these though. So that's the big power draw there. All production halted from electrical outage. How long does that last? Wait, what? Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's persisting. Status paused. I'm gonna leave at least one of the robotic motivators on, but yeah, that makes me very nervous that production's halted. The water, if we do the water, we are going over the limit, so let's leave it there. We'll turn off some of the computronium things next turn, but it looks like we should be okay for this turn. 9 moves. I would really like to build more of this guy's mainframes, but it doesn't look like that's meant to be. There's nothing else we can do, really. It's all about building the compute time. Alright, I think our power situation will be fine this turn, so let's go to turn 91. Before we do that, though, I want to take a look at Victory Path. I guess we don't have to worry about any of the any of the other dooms anymore, so let's go to turn 91. Alright, turn 91. I probably should have been looking at this guy to see if he destroyed our combat red, but he didn't. He just shot something at Galeria Expedition area. We're making a pretty good dent inside the data that we're decrypting once that is all decrypted, which looks like a couple more turns. We should be golden. Join me next time while we continue to decrypt the data that we're probing from this giant titan. Hopefully he becomes our friend. Who knows? At least hopefully he doesn't stomp us into the radioactive dust of Ladursk City. There's not a lot of city left. Join me next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you then. Bye for now.